Hi guys! Today I'm going to whip out those elderberries again, and we're going to make some elderberry gummies this time. My daughter was not a fan of just the straight syrup, so I figured I would try to make them into little gummy bears. So there's my water. I did 4 cups of water to start in the pan, and then we'll get that started heating up, and we'll get the berries. These are the same ones that I picked over the summer. I believe I did 2 cups of berries to the 4 cups of water. I still have a little bit of berries left, which is exciting, so I can make some more. Yep, 2 cups of berries, 4 cups of water. Those are the frozen berries. I'll link the video where I picked and processed them for you. I also already made a syrup making video because that's the base of this making the gummies, is having the syrup already made. So if you already watched that video, you can skip ahead to the gummy making part. But for the syrup, this basic syrup, I didn't put any cinnamon or any warming spices in it. I just did the elderberries, the honey, and the lemon juice. So they've been cooking for a while, simmering down. You need all those good juices to come out. I can almost smell this. I have like smell-o-vision, crazy. Anyway, so they're all cooking down. I feel like I let them cook down for about 15 to 20 minutes. And I used my masher there to mash those berries to get all the good juices. And here I'm going to run it through the strainer here to get all the berries out. Now, I did this a couple times because I ran it through the strainer, then I put it back in the pot and it didn't wipe the pot out, and it still had some of the residual berries in there. So I definitely strained it a few times, trying to mash all the juices out, strain all the berries, any stems, and pulp out. And here I'm gonna just dump all those extra berries into that bowl so I can add them to the compost or just throw them away later, so I can strain it again. Try not to lose any of that precious juice. This time I'm going to remember to wipe the pot out so we don't get any berry hunks or stems or anything. And mix around. Carefully pour that back into the pan. And we're going to let that cook down. We want it to it wants to become syrup, so you got to really cook it down a fair amount. About halfway, I let it simmer, I want to say for like a half an hour to 45 minutes probably. So cook down about halfway. I already added the honey here. I'm sorry. Here's me scraping out the rest of the jar. Forgot to turn my camera on. See, I'm multitasking. I was making my walnut cookies too, as you can see. But then I added the honey. I just added the rest. I probably had about a half a cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup left in that jar there. So I added that honey in, and then here I'm going to add in the lemon juice. And I think that's a 1/4 cup or a half cup. I'll mark it, of lemon juice in there, and stir that in. This is after it has been turned off and cooled. You don't want to put the honey in when it's piping hot because it kills all the good stuff in the honey. So now I'm mixing in that lemon juice and that honey after it's cooled off a little bit. It's cool enough where I can stick my hand in there and not get burned, but still warm enough that it will help dissolve the honey. Alright, so next up I'll be adding in the gelatin, which I think I missed that step for you. So I'm getting ready to pour it into my cups here, but I had already added in the gelatin. Basically, I took a big glass of the elderberry syrup and cooled it off in the fridge. Added the gelatin to that cold, stirred it up, and then poured that into the pot so it was warm together. Tricky how Jell-O works. You gotta have cold water and hot water. And here I started filling the cups with the dropper before I remembered to spray them, which I wound up not really having to spray them. They came out of these silicone molds pretty well without the spray. But that's some avocado oil I'm spraying in there. And then I have just it's actually a medicine dropper. It came with children's Tylenol because I didn't have the regular candy dropper. And I just use that to fill in all of the little gummy bear trays. That other silicone mold, I tried spraying it and then turning upside down, so all the residual extra oil I don't need would kind of fall out. It would just be coated. It's like a little emoji silicone mold. So yes, so I just filled it with the dropper. I'm going to fill that emoji mold too, and then I'm going to have even more. So you'll see my silicone muffin bake thingies. Can't think of their name right now, but the muffin silicone molds I have, and I'll fill those as well because I have a lot of the syrup, and then I can just cut those up. These all really work well. I was worried I didn't do the gelatin right, but it worked pretty fine. The cold gelatin in the hot water wasn't even that cold. So here I am just filling in those, since I have so much of it left that I mix the gelatin with. It's just the elderberry syrup mixed with gelatin. And I kind of scoop off the top of those little bubbly bits too. And they all go in the fridge. Yeah, because I didn't want the funky bubbles on top. I wanted it to be clean. Kids don't like when things have weird bubbles. And I want kids to eat these. So I scooped off the bubbles, and all of them just go into the fridge till they can solidify. And here they are out of the fridge. This first one is the mold that I forgot to spray, that I didn't spray. And they come out pretty good. Little gummy bears. They're so tiny. It's such a tiny bite. And I'm just putting them into the Tupperware container so I can store them in the fridge, because these aren't really shelf stable. I didn't do much to them. So they definitely need to be stored in the fridge until you eat them. And this many I gave them to, let's see, my family has some, and then 2 neighbors and my sister. So 4 different families. I split these gummies up. You could probably get away with just 1 tray of them for your kids. They last about 2 or 3 weeks. You can give them 2 in the morning, 2 at night. Don't eat, just eat them like candy. Spread them out for that vitamin C boost. And don't forget, I am not a healthcare expert. Do your research about elderberry and how you want to use it for health reasons, but we just like it for that immunity boost to help with the cold season. And the verdict is my daughter still didn't like the gummies. My one neighbor, her kids didn't really like them either. My other neighbors, her kids, they loved them. They wanted to eat the whole container right away. So it just depends. Here's the one that I sprayed with oil. That one they were a little bit like slimy from the oil, but they still tasted good. The oil didn't give them an extra taste or anything. They slipped right on out. And here are the emoji ones, came out really well. And here are the muffin cups with the silicone mold. They came out really well too. I just popped them all out, and I actually cut these into smaller bits so they would spread out. Some of them are a little bit thinner, some of them are thicker, but I just cut them up so you could just pop one in your mouth, kind of like a little vitamin or just a little immunity pick-me-up. It's basically the same thing as the syrup, just in a gelatin gummy version. So remember, they need to be stored in the fridge, but they're yummy. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope this helps you discover how to make your own gummies and enjoy the elderberry.